In our welcome again to our second session in our Pause, Breathe, Move webinar series. This is our second session and it will be focused on breathe. So today we have with us Mary Catherine Lindquist. She is from the COPSA, Comprehensive Services on Aging, Institute for Alzheimer's Disease and Related Disorders at Rutgers Health in the University of Behavioral Healthcare, also known as UBHC. And then we also have Michelle Zechner with us from the School of Health Professions, the Department of Psychiatric Rehabilitation and Counseling Professions. So just a little bit about us. The MHTTC is a SAMHSA-funded, grant-funded program. We're located in the Rutgers University School of Health Professions in the Department of Psychiatric Rehabilitation and Counseling Professions. And we've been tasked to enhance the capacity of the behavioral health care workforce and deliver evidence-based and promising practices to individuals with mental illnesses. And we also have a supplemental funding for school mental health. If you'd like to keep up with our latest communications and email announcements on our upcoming trainings and products, we ask that you please subscribe to our mailing list. I will include this, the link that you see on the screen in the chat box. Also, we want to let you know that shortly after the conclusion of our webinar this morning, you will receive an email with a survey link. This is crucial to informing us about your feedback on this training. So, and I will also place the link in the chat box as well as in the last slide, which will have a QR code. We also just want to let everyone know that this webinar is going to be recorded and will be posted to our website along with our presenter slides for your reference. And also this presentation was prepared for the Northeast and Caribbean Mental Health Technology Transfer Center under cooperative agreement from SAMHSA. We ask that you review this disclaimer slide, which relates to the SAMHSA's position on our webinar presentation. Thank you. We also want to let you know that you can interact with our presenter during the webinar using the chat feature as well as the Q&A. If you have a specific question for our presenter, I will collect all the questions and ask of the presenter during the Q&A tab towards the end of the presentation. And we also would like to remind everyone that the MHTTC network uses affirming, respectful, and recovery-oriented language in all of our activities. And this is language that is strength-based and hopeful, inclusive and accepting of diverse cultures, genders, perspectives, and experiences, language that is healing-centered and trauma-responsive, language that invites individuals to participate in their own recovery journeys, a language that is person-first and free of labels, language that is non-judgmental and avoiding assumptions, language that is respectful, clear, and understandable, and language that is also consistent with our actions, policies, and products. At this time, I will turn it over to our webinar presenters. And again, welcome.
Thank you, Kadi, so much. We are so happy to be here with you today. My name is Mary Catherine Lundquist, and I'm joined by my colleague, Michelle Zechner. And you're going to hear from both of us today. We're so glad that you took the time today to log in. And we want to thank you for stopping to see how you can strengthen your self-care skills in your daily life. We congratulate you for taking this time for this short session. Now, we know that everybody's very busy, right? You have a lot to do at work, and you also have a lot of challenges that you're facing at home and extra things as healthcare providers during this very difficult time. So we're excited that you're here for the second of our 5-part series designed for healthcare workers who are doing such important work for our world right now. Today's session, we're going to focus on a few strategies to help you learn how to hit the pause button a few times throughout your day so you can reset and you can refocus. Today, we are going to focus on on our breath and examine how and when you can take a few minutes to pause and take a breath to rejuvenate yourself. I love this breathing because you don't need any equipment, right? You know, we all have the equipment right here with us that we need to participate in this exercise. So you don't have to put on your sneakers, you don't have to go anywhere. We have access to this any time of the day and any time of the night. Next slide, please, Connie. Thank you. So today we're going to focus on breathing. This topic is important because taking time to focus on your breathing can change your mood, it can change your feelings, and it can help to decrease anxiety and stress. And I am all for that. And I'm sure everybody who's here wants to reduce their anxiety and stress, right? So focusing on the breath can definitely help us with that. This strategy can be done anytime. You can do it before your shift. You can do it after your shift. You can do it in between taking care of clients or patients at the work site. And it's especially useful during a difficult encounter with someone as well. So our learning objectives for today are to define the importance of breathing mindfully. We're going to take a deep breath, and that's going to feel great. We're going to practice a deep controlled breathing exercise to help us relax. Hopefully by the end, you're going to be able to describe when and where to practice breathing during the next few days, and that you'll be able to list at least one benefit of the breathing practice. Next slide, please. So breathing, we all breathe all day long, right? And typically we're not even aware that we are breathing because it's a very automatic process, right? But it's important for us to know that our mind influences our breath, and likewise, our breath can influence our mind. By learning to control your breath, you can influence your feelings and relax your body. This is especially important during difficult situations and when we may be experiencing chaos or a crisis. So paying attention to your breath with attention can help you to feel calmer, feel less stressed, and relax more. I'm going to hand it over to Michelle now so she can lead us all in some breathing practices.
Thank you, Mary Catherine. First, I encourage you to take a full deep breath. Your breathing changes with your state of mind. The breath responds to the mind. The mind also responds to the breath. As you learned last time, pause includes being aware of your breathing. This strategy, breathe, focuses on controlling your breath. You can calm your mind and body by changing your breathing in specific ways. This can help you feel more relaxed and focused, and it's especially important in difficult situations, such as when you're surrounded by chaos or when your mind is going into fear or worry. There are several steps to this way of deep breathing. I'll take you through each step in this practice. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. First, let's get into position. Sit up straight in a firm chair with both of your feet on the floor. We're going to practice now, so place your right hand on your upper belly, just above your belly button, with your thumb at your breastbone. Place your left hand on your upper chest. Now, breathe slowly and deeply in and out through your nose. Notice that your upper belly comes out when you breathe in and goes in when you breathe out. Your upper hand on your chest stays still. Try this for a few breaths. See if you can push your upper belly out as you inhale and let it come in as you exhale. Now begin to lengthen your exhale. Let your breath out more slowly and completely. Don't force it. Just let your breath flow out naturally. Count to yourself the time it takes to breathe in. And then count the time to breathe out. Try slowing down more as you breathe out. If it comes naturally, you can let your exhale be up to twice as long as your inhale. Counting your breath occupies your mind. By counting and making your out breath longer and more complete, you can calm your body and mind. Keep breathing. As you practice, breathe without a break or pause. Let go of any pause at the end of the inhale or exhale. Let every inhale flow into the exhale. Let every exhale flow into the inhale. Let your breath flow. If you do need to pause between breaths, that's fine. Just see if you can shorten the pause. Breathing without a pause helps your mind become more focused. Check in with yourself. How do you feel? From time to time during each day, notice your breathing. Use the strategy of breathe to help you become more calm and focused. Thank you for trying that practice with me. Next slide, please. Thank you. Someone already noted that their shoulders came down. Wonderful. Practice deep, controlled breathing to help relax. There's another technique called the 4-7-8 breath. You may have heard about it. It's a breathing technique, also known as relaxing breath, involving breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds. The total number of seconds that the pattern lasts is less important than keeping the ratio. A person who can't hold their breath for long enough may try a shorter pattern, such as breathe in through the nose for 2 seconds, hold the breath for a count of 3.5 seconds, and exhale through the mouth for 4 seconds. As long as you try to maintain the correct ratio of a shorter in-breath, a medium hold breath, and a longer exhale, you may notice after several days or weeks of doing the 4-7-8 breath consistently 1 to 2 times a day. According to some advocates of 4-7-8 breathing, the longer and more frequently you use this technique, the more effective it becomes. I've also heard that this type of breathing is helpful for falling asleep. Next slide, please.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. That was a wonderful practice. And I feel a lot calmer than I did when I got up this morning after engaging in that. So thank you so much for that. And we'd love to hear from everybody who's with us here today, what you think about the breathing. What might the benefits of breathing be for you? And also, when and where might you practice breathing during the next few days? So please take a moment and share with us your thoughts in chat. What might the benefits of breathing be for you? Deborah is sharing, love this technique. It definitely helps me be less stressed. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, and Mary Catherine, as you said, it also is portable. It's with you wherever you go.
Right.
And PJ notes, it allowed her to stop. Yeah.
Very important, very important. I mean, many of us are probably running from one task to the other all day, right? Elizabeth is sharing, I would practice before I get out of my car to go into a busy place like a store. Love that. Love that.
And Renee, I hope I'm saying that correctly, before going to sleep and ending my day. That's a great point. You know, that transition, anytime you transition is a great time to breathe, whether you're walking into work, leaving work, going to sleep, about to spend time with your family.
Ramona, I can see this as being a great way to start my day and have me be centered. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And Madge, stay calm or less stressed. Will practice prior to work and at the end of the day. Mabel, help to refocus and calm down. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Suzanne, recentering. I get overwhelmed. Oops, it's coming in so fast, everybody. I can't keep up. I get overwhelmed and I need to remember to step back. Breathing is a good way to refocus before the emotions take over. Yes, exactly. And Joanne, the benefits for me are keeping calm and feeling rest during a stressful time. Practice would be between tasks, after a car ride, settling in before bed. Yes, thank you for sharing those excellent examples. Thank you.
And Deborah also suggests that perhaps before meetings, and I think Peggy said that as well, and that's always a good one, before meetings. And also just slowing down, Louis says. And being sure to engage in this in my car before I drive home, Rebecca says, to make sure that I leave work at work and not take it home. That's a great point.
Right, very good, very good. So wonderful examples of concrete times when you can add this into your day, which is so very, very important. And, you know, we know for many of us, our schedules are busy, right? We don't have a whole lot of time for self-care. So finding easy ways to integrate it into what we're already doing can be very, very beneficial. So everybody, great. All the things that you have mentioned, plan on doing those. And then as you go through your day at work today, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're in a hospital setting, in an outpatient setting, whatever you're doing, start to think about, when else can I add more awareness of my breath? So you can even do this in the morning before you get out of bed. You know, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, and I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but the moment my eyes open, before my eyes even open, I start to think about everything I have to do and worry about everything that I have to do. So right there before my feet get on the ground, I like to put my hand on my chest and my belly, and I like to have that breath to remind me that this is a way to feed myself throughout the day. So at set times like that, and also as you're going through your daily routine, if you're teaching in a classroom, you know, your turn to write something on the blackboard, you can take a breath then. If you're with a client and assisting a client or a patient, you can even take a breath in the midst of the assistance that you're offering, and nobody even knows that you're doing it, right? If you're in a meeting at work, a Zoom meeting, or if people are having in-person meetings, you can engage in being aware of your breath, and no one will even know that you're doing that.
And Mary Catherine, I don't know about you, but when I work with people, and I know you work with people, sometimes the person that I'm helping gets really upset. And I sometimes will just say, you know what, can we take a breath together? Because that helps me stay calmer. And it also helps the person who's experiencing distress in that moment to stay calmer.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Michelle. That's so important too, because we're all in this together, right? You know, especially when we're in experience together, we're going through it. So sharing tips with each other is so beneficial as well. So very, very important.
And someone also, I think Peggy noted that she puts it on a Post-it note, the breathing 4-7-8 near her computer as a reminder. And someone said, yeah, I'm going to do that too. Put it on my computer. And sometimes, you know, I'd like to put the word breathe next to my computer, because I think sometimes I forget to breathe when things get a little too hectic for work or Zoom or meetings.
Right. Yes. Yes. Totally agree with that. Yes. And some people also like to do it with a trigger event, like every time right before you pick up the phone or before you respond to an email, you take a breath then. Some people might do it when they walk through a doorway. Every time I walk through a doorway, I'm going to be conscious of my breath. I'm going to take that breath as well. So tying it to something, an action that you're doing anyway, every time I open a door, things like that can be very helpful as well.
Yeah,
So
and the trigger event, Mary Catherine, even I've heard people say here in New Jersey, traffic can be wild. I'm sure it's wild everywhere, but if you're in your car a lot, every time you see a red light, that could also be the trigger to take a nice breath.
right, wonderful. Yes, yes, Michelle. And someone mentioned earlier that they're going to do it before they go into a store. So I find that I oftentimes use it when I'm standing in line at the store. And these days we're spending more time in line. You know, less workers, everything has to get sanitized, you know, oftentimes before you go up. So instead of getting frustrated, you know, because it's taking so long, you know, you can use that moment to stand there and to kind of breathe as well.
Great.
So wonderful suggestions, everybody. Thank you for sharing these. We definitely all learn from each other how to integrate these into our lives. Next slide, please, Kati. So we encourage you to keep thinking about when and where you can use breathe in your life. Breathe during the day. The more you practice a pause and a breathe, the easier it will get and the more benefit you will receive. So right now it seems like it might not be a whole lot, but the more we do it, the more effective it is going to become in our lives. It can be easier to build in self-care when you think ahead about it. You know, we hear people talk about this. If you want to go to the gym, make it easy for yourself. You know, put your sneakers right by the door, or when you wake up in the morning, put your sneakers on right away, put them in your car, and then don't go home, just go right to the gym. We do things like that to help us do other self-care things. So let's apply that to breathe as well. How can we plan on taking this aware breath? How and when can you breathe for focus on your breath during the coming week? And also, how can we as colleagues support each other in these practices? Maybe you've heard something here today that was beneficial for you and that you're going to try. And what are ways that you can share this with your coworkers? Michelle mentioned a great example of how you can share it with people who you are serving. So what are ways that you could extend that to people also that you're working with? You know, maybe sharing it at a meeting that you have together, or if you're having a one-on-one conversation with a colleague who is upset, you know, sharing the breathing technique with them as well. So you can be breathing ambassadors. So we don't have a little certificate for that, but that can be something that you can do too after participating in this webinar. We'd love to hear some more thoughts from you in the chat while we're wrapping up here about any other ideas you may have on how you can implement this into your life as well. Next slide, please, Connie. Oh, Elizabeth is sharing here, start staff meetings with a breathing exercise. I love that. Yes, I love that. Everybody do a breath together. Wonderful, wonderful. And then even end your meeting with a breath together, right? I love that. So very, very, very good idea. So if anybody has other ideas as we're wrapping up here, please, we would love to hear those. We are so glad that you were able to join us here today. We all believe in aware breathing, how important it is for us, and we're so happy that you were able to share in this short practice with us today and to discuss more about it as well. Ramona is sharing, I've been bringing into work with my clients. I have a large population of folks with trauma. It helps them. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ramona. So the more we all do this together, we create a culture of breathing, right? And that reinforces a culture of self-care for all of us. So thank you, everybody, for sharing those wonderful examples. Next slide, please. PJ is sharing here, great job as always. See you next week. Agree, Ramona, doing lots of breathing with clients with anxiety, right? It helps us all calm down. Suzanne is sharing great suggestions. Thank you all so much. We have our references here. I think you'll get copies of all of those. And if you have any questions or answers, let us know. But if you want more information, if you like these practices, you can log on to our website here. We have a beautiful guide designed just for professionals like yourself that walks you through all these self-care practices, and also videos that you can watch as well and breathe with and do other helpful supportive things with as well. So please feel free to check those out as well. Any questions anybody has, or anything else anybody else would like to share as we're wrapping up here?
I just want to put a plug in. This summer, we'll be offering, Peggy and I will be doing something for how you can develop a program like this at your work site. So we invite you to consider, if you want to be the breathing ambassador, as Mary Catherine suggested, do consider that when the notification goes out.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. We wish you the best for today and going forward. May you be sustained in your work, and may you be sustained by your breath. Be well, and we look forward to seeing you for our next gathering. And thank you for sharing all these ideas. Start my day with breathing, exercise on a cool morning. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Keep breathing, everybody.
Keep breathing. Thank you.
Thank you.